So yeah, welcome everybody to the very beginning of July, and feels quite weird that it's July now. But yeah, we continue to be in this interesting and curious situation that we're in. So as things kind of continue and change, we're still here, and we are coming together each week. And I think most of you have probably been to one of these sessions before. So a very warm welcome to you all. And it's really nice to be here. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks, and so it feels really nice to be back and in this. So yeah, just to take some time to get whatever you need together, and remembering that you can choose what you need and listen to that need, listen to the body's need through how you work with your video and with your kind of sound, and whether you share. So choosing how you want to do that, or whether you want to do that, and just kind of making sure that you take care of your needs along this over the next hour. So just a reminder that we will be recording bits of the session, but not only the bits where we're kind of guiding. So just that gentle reminder there. And we continue to kind of have the intention to support you through this time, and we will let you know as time goes on what sort of direction we're going in with this, as we sort of start to move into, well, who knows, over the next kind of month or so, what's going to be happening, but we will keep you updated on that. So let's begin, I think, unless there's anything else, Kate or Claire Louise. Okay. And we kind of today, I think there's something around this ongoing need to feel grounded and connected, and maybe you've over the last few weeks, maybe last week, particularly in that kind of hot sun, managed to get out in nature a bit and really sort of get that kind of need of space and green and yeah, just freedom met in some way, or maybe you didn't. But today we kind of, there's a sense of sort of continuing to kind of develop and cultivate this connection in a way to nature. So we're going to start with a sort of grounding practice, just to arrive really, and just to take a moment to come into the body through the various ways that we do. So if you want to take some time to find a posture, a sitting position that feels right, and gather cushions and whatever else you need to feel supported, to feel that you could just take some time to give this kind of space to your posture, to your body, to allow listening, to allow that kind of maybe asking the question of, how does this body need to be right now? What does this body need? What does this mind need? What posture would best support this body right now? So taking some time just to adjust your position, your posture, gathering cushions, whatever else you need. And then when you're ready, just letting the attention and the awareness slowly sink down, slowly settle. This way of slowing down and taking a moment. And perhaps sensing that through the posture, noticing where you might want to adjust slightly, something in the body, around the shoulders, maybe a softening. Maybe a sense of softening around the eyes or the jaw, just letting the jaw be relaxed and kind of soft. And letting that sense of attention really sink down a bit, like a pebble sinking down into a well, the way that the kind of pebble sinks slowly down to the base, to the floor or the bed of the well. And perhaps that sense of lower half of the body and a sense of weight, possible to allow the attention to really rest and settle into and sink down into the weight of the lower half of the body. And the feet in contact with the floor, or the legs in contact with something. Perhaps a way that we could really allow a letting go of this lower half of the body into the ground, a bit like the roots of a tree, really sinking into the earth, feeling the weight, maybe a sense of gravity. Letting everything sink into the earth, the lower half of this body, sitting, lying. And the upper half of the body, maybe a sense of the upper half of the body rising up, a bit like the branches of a tree, rising up to the sky, up to the ceiling. And the crown of the head rising up. Maybe the chin lowers a little, and softening of the jaw, allowing the neck, the back of the neck, to just gently open up. That sense of the upper half of the body rising up to the sky. Maybe feeling that sense of the upper half of the body. Maybe there's a gentle rocking or a movement. Again, a bit like the branches of a tree. They're so strong, but so flexible. Maybe even sensing these really, really subtle movements of breath in the body that allow, with that fine tune of attention, to sense a gentle rocking or movement as the breath flows in to the lungs and the upper half of the body. And gently kind of sensing that breath flowing in, this kind of embracing in a way of the breath. And the breath breathing this body. The lower half of the body like a solid base, the upper half of the body with some movement. Gently kind of flowing in the breeze, like the branches of the tree, swaying. And perhaps the mind is wandered and lost in a stream of thinking, stories, other images. So when you notice the mind is kind of wandered off, bringing the attention right back to this sense of the breath subtle movements that it brings into this body as it flows all the way in to the lungs, kind of reaches and touches the whole of the body in different places we could notice. Maybe really sensing the breath in the back, around the rib cage, or in the armpits. Even all the way down to the fingertips. And so bringing the attention right back to these places whenever the mind wanders. And maybe having brought your attention in to the body in this way, there's an awareness of the kind of sensations or emotions or energies around. And letting the awareness really expand to include all of this breathing body, and perhaps some curiosity around all of these experiences here in the body, in the mind, and in the heart. Giving some space to see and feel and acknowledge what is here in this moment. And then perhaps extending and easing the kind of focus is expanding the awareness to include the whole of the body, the skin around the body, the shape of the body, and again that contact with the earth, the ground beneath, or the cushions, whatever the body is in contact with. In the upper half of the body, once more that sense of kind of air or the breeze or a swaying of this upper half of the body, some kind of subtle movement perhaps. The shape of this body. And then beyond to the space around and the environment. So really allowing everything to come into this moment. The environment, sense of the environment around this body, the space. And the perhaps two sounds, giving some space to allow sounds to become focus for a moment. Letting everything fold into this moment. Maybe just taking in the words before the sound of the bells become the focus, but the words of this poem by Sherry Finley. Just a small few words about tree. A sense of grounding and embrace and tenderness that trees offer us. I am a tree who reaches out to you. With love I'll share. I am here to embrace my branches of tenderness. I am a tree which extends. Water me in tender care. As I stand by your side, extending my heart always. So just letting those words, if they resonate in any way, just be there. And then in a moment following the sound of the bells into the sound of silence.